شامخ علم شمس نور صوت الحق الصارخ نور يعلو
Good morning. Hello. As you know, we are very close to the end of the semester and certainly the end of this course. Therefore, today's lecture is going to be a revision for the tenses we studied during the whole semester within diverse units in the textbook. And for this purpose, the topic of today is a review of tenses. And the tenses we studied are in this order. There were 6 tenses as follows. In Unit 1, we studied present continuous. In Unit 2, we studied present simple. And in Unit 3, there was past simple. Future simple was in Unit 5, and finally present perfect simple in Unit 7. Okay, now it's the time for having a task, and you're going to do this task. Video task. Watch video 1 and try to identify the tense used in the conversation. Mention why you have chosen this tense. Write an example from the video to prove your answer. Is it clear? You're going to watch a video, very simple video, and you need to try to identify what is the tense of the conversation in the video. Write a sentence or a question you heard it in the tense form you're going to recognize. Ready to start? Yes? Okay.
Stanley's International Restaurant.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Monday?
On Monday, he cooks Italian food.
Thank you.
Stanley's International Restaurant.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Wednesday?
On Wednesday, he cooks Chinese food.
Chinese food?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Stanley's International Restaurant.
Does Stanley cook Greek food on Tuesday?
Yes, he does.
Thank you.
Stanley's Restaurant.
Does Stanley cook Puerto Rican food on Thursday?
Yes, he does.
Thanks.
Okay, so what is the tense of this conversation? What is the tense of this video? Who would like to answer? Yes? Any answer? Is it that difficult? Okay, Shumur. Yes, please. Okay.
Present simple.
It's a present simple. This is correct answer. And why do you think it is a present simple?
It's something he used to do, and a habit or personal arrangement.
A habit. Okay, have you got any sentence? Anybody got any sentence from the video? Do you want me to repeat it again? Yes, okay, I will repeat it again. For the second time, please try to listen carefully and write at least one sentence or one question mentioned in the conversation here, in the tense. As she just said, it's a present simple, right? And you need to write one sentence in the present simple from this video, or a question.
Stanley's International Restaurant.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Monday?
On Monday, he cooks Italian food.
Thank you.
Stanley's International Restaurant.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Wednesday?
On Wednesday, he cooks Chinese food.
Chinese food?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Stanley's International Restaurant.
Does Stanley cook Greek food on Tuesday?
Yes, he does.
Thank you.
Stanley's Restaurant.
Does Stanley cook Puerto Rican food on Thursday?
Yes, he does.
Thanks.
Okay. Who would like to give an example? Yes, there, finally.
On Monday, he cooks Italian food.
Exactly. On Monday, he cooks Italian food. Somebody else? Yes, please. Khulud? Khulud?
On Wednesday, cooks Chinese food.
On Wednesday, he cooks Chinese food. Thank you so much. Okay. This is the present simple. In affirmative, which mean positive sentences in positive form, we use subject, verb, plus S in the case of singular subject. And in the case of a plural subject, we omit this S. We don't need it. For example, on Monday, he cooks Italian food. We cook Italian food. Notice that we is a plural subject, so we don't need to use the S after cook. Clear? Negative form. In negative form, we need to use the helping verb do or does. Do in the case of singular subject and, do in the case of a plural subject and does in the case of singular subject. Plus not plus the verb. The verb must be a bare verb. A bare verb. So we don't cook Spanish food. Questions. In the case of WH question, we use a question word plus do or does plus subject plus the verb. For example, what kind of food does Stanley cook on Monday? But if it is yes, no question, we don't need the question word. So does Stanley cook Greek food on a Tuesday? And we use does here because Stanley is a singular subject. Use. We use the present simple to express habitual actions and facts. We use it for expressing a future event in a fixed timetable. A fixed timetable means like in a schedule. For example, the plane takes at 10 o'clock a.m., for example. Signals. The signals are something like keywords that tell us that this is the tense of a sentence or a situation. We use here, for example, some of the adverbs of a frequency, always, usually, often, never, and seldom, and so on. It's the time of the video task 2. Similarly, until we finish the tenses, we're going to do the same. So watch video 2 and try to identify the tense used in the conversation. Mention why have you chosen this tense. And finally, write an example from the video to prove your answer.
Are you dancing now?
Charlie's writing on the wall.
What?
Charlie? She's writing on the wall. I should go.
Charlie!
Dexter, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, me, what?
Gary,
Glenda?
what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm making an omelet. What do you think? Where are you?
I need some help.
Okay. Now?
Okay, what is the tense? I think this is easier because you had some subtitles. So who would like to answer? Okay, the lady there, please.
Present continuous.
Yes, it's a present continuous. Do you have an example to say? Or let somebody else? Okay, the lady there, please.
Are you dancing now?
Me? No, actually not. I'm teaching you. Okay, correct answer. Are you dancing now? This is present continuous question. Thank you so much. Thank you. Somebody else there, please.
She's writing in the wall.
She's writing on the wall. Thank you. This is a present continuous. And in the present continuous, we're going to have this summary as we did in the past simple, in the present simple, sorry. Okay, present continuous. In positive sentences, in affirmative, we use subject am if the subject was the pronoun I. We use is in case of singular subject, and finally are is used for with the plural subjects. Then you have to use the verb plus ing. For example, which we already have already heard, Charlie is writing in the wall. She is writing on the wall. Charlie is a singular subject. So we use the verb to be is, and here is the verb plus ing. In negative form, just add not to the verb to be. I'm not dancing. I'm not dancing. Any questions? If it is yes, no question, it's going to be to start by the verb to be am, is, or are. So, are you dancing now? No, I don't. Sorry, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. What are you doing now? This is WH question, and waiting for a piece of information from the person we asked. Use. We use the present continuous to express actions happening at the moment of speaking. For example, I'm explaining the present continuous right now. Something happening at the moment of speaking. We use it also for temporary actions and arrangements in the future. Signals. We use now, at the moment, listen, look, and so on. Note, and this is very important to you, do not forget that state verbs cannot be used in a present continuous unless they are dynamic. Do you remember what the state verbs are? State verbs are like senses and exactly. For example, when and also abstract things like happening in your mind. For example, think. We cannot say I'm thinking in general. But if it is dynamic, we say the student is thinking of the answer. How can I know that the verb is dynamic? Because, for example, he's very pressurized, he's stressed out, and he looks really nervous. So we knew he's thinking. There is something happening in his mind. So the case of the verb moved from its state condition into its dynamic one. Okay, video task 3, watch the video, and similarly, we need to write one sentence, one question after we determine the tense used in the conversation.
Oh, hello, Susan. Oh, hi, Alice. How are you? I'm fine, thanks. I came from abroad yesterday. Where did you go? I went to London. Really? Did you have a good time? Yes, I did. What was the weather like? Well, it wasn't raining as much as I expected. I didn't have my umbrella with me, so I'm glad I didn't need to use it. What places did you visit? I visited museums, cathedrals, some shops. I really enjoyed the ride in the London Eye. I liked everything there. It sounds nice. Would you tell me something more about your stay in London in a cafe? Sure, let's go.
Okay, what is the tense of this conversation? Yes, please.
It's past simple.
It's past simple, correct. Have you got any sentence?
Yes, I went to London and yes,
I went to London. Thank you. And went is a past simple verb. Somebody else? Yes, there at the end of the class.
What places did you visit?
What places did you visit? Excellent. Thank you. Somebody else here? Yes?
He bought a new car.
He bought a new car. Thank you very much. That's true. He bought a new car. Bought is a past simple form. Thank you. Okay, in affirmative, in past simple, we use the subject plus past simple verb. Past simple form is the second conjugation of the verb. For example, we say see, saw, seen. So saw is the second conjugation and we call it past simple. I went to London, and notice that went is an irregular past simple verb. Such kind of verbs, you have to keep them in mind. And in general, when you want to make a past simple form, you need to add ed to the verb in case of regular past simple verbs. I visited London. In negative, we use didn't. So I didn't have my umbrella with me. And notice the verb after didn't must be in its bare form. It must be in its bare form. Any questions? We use did at the beginning of yes/no questions. So, for example, we say, did you have a good time? And again, the verb in questions must be in its bare form. Where did you go? This is WH question. And when we say here, did you have a good time? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Short answers. Use. We use it for completed actions and definite events in the past. It must, the exact time is mentioned. This is the meaning of definite event. Okay, we use the time expressions such as ago, last week, last month, last year, at 7 o'clock, at 8 o'clock, in September, in December, and so on, to express an exact time in the past simple. Video task 4. Watch video 4 and try to identify the tense used in the conversation. Mention why have you chosen this tense, and finally write an example from the video to prove your answer. Okay, ready? Yes?
Have we met before?
I've missed you so much.
I've made changes for you, Shrek. Think about that.
I've never felt
I've decided what to do with my life.
You have made impression upon her.
Have you noticed any changes in your husband's behavior?
The mother has not eaten for 5 months and has lost half her body weight.
You must feel horrible. You've lost everything. Your father, your tribe, your best friend.
You're the best teacher I've ever had. Thank you.
What do you think about this one? Yes. Yes, please.
Present perfect.
It's a present perfect, correct. Have you got any example?
Yes, you have lost everything, or I missed you very much.
Exactly. You have lost everything. Your father, your friend, your tribe, and so on. Thank you. Okay, there. Yes, please.
Have you met before?
Have we met? Have we met before? Have we met before? Thank you. A present perfect question. Yes, somebody else? Yes, there. Lena.
I have missed you so much.
I have missed you so much. Thank you. Okay, is there anybody wants to add something? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, present perfect simple form. In affirmative, we use subject plus have in case of singular subject, plural subject, and has in case of singular subject plus the past participle. The past participle is the third conjugation form of verbs. When we say, we've just said see, saw, seen. Seen is the past participle. It's the present perfect form. I have made changes for you. Made is past participle. Made is past participle. Okay, what is the first conjugation of made? It's make. We see make, made, made. Excellent. Negatives. In negative, just add not to the helping verb have or has. For example, their mother hasn't eaten for 5 years. And their mother is a singular subject, so we use has. And because it is negative, we added not to the has, so hasn't. Any questions? If it is WH question, you use a question word plus have or has plus subject plus past participle. For example, what has she done to you? What has she done to you? If it is yes, no question, just ignore the question word and start by have or has. For example, have you noticed any changes in your husband's behaviors? Have you noticed any changes in your husband's behaviors? Clear. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Use. We use it first for to express an indefinite event in the past. Exact time isn't mentioned. Opposite to the past simple. Exact time isn't mentioned. Okay, it is also used to express something started in the past and continues to the present. For example, I have lived in Gaza. It means that I lived in Gaza in the past and I'm still living in Gaza right now. But if I said I lived in Gaza, past simple form, it means that I no longer live in Gaza. Exactly. Continuing to the function of the present perfect, we use it to express past action, but its influence appears in the present. For example, I broke my arm. I broke my arm. Okay, the action of breaking happened in the past. The action of breaking happened in the past, but its evidence is still appearing on my body, the plaster. Okay? We use it to express an action recently occurred, just before now, recently occurred. For example, I have just already explained present continuous. Something recently happened before now. And finally, something happened for once, never, or several times before the time of speaking, but the exact time isn't mentioned. For example, have you ever been in America? I have never been in America. Unfortunately, maybe, I don't know. Signals. We use already in a present perfect simple, just, yet, and ever. Notice we use ever in questions, and yet also we use it in questions and negative forms. Already and just are used in sentences to tell that the action is happened recently. For is used to describe a period of time, and since is to describe when the period of time started, the beginning of that period. Video 5. Watch video 5 and try to identify the tense used in the conversation. Actually, this is right now clear to you, so let's begin playing the video.
Side-by-side TV news reporter Scott Mason is standing by downtown to find out what people were doing last night when the lights went out. Scott, are you there?
Jackie, it seems like everybody in town is talking about the blackout last night. Everyone has a story to tell. What were you doing last night when the lights went out?
I was washing the dishes, and my wife was giving the baby a bath.
I was washing my clothes at the laundromat, and suddenly everything got dark.
My husband and I were watching TV, and our children were doing their homework.
And what were you doing last night when the lights went out? Excuse me.
Yeah?
What were you doing last night when the lights went out?
Did the lights go out last night?
Yes, the lights went out all over town.
Huh. How about that? I didn't even know. I was listening to music all night.
You were listening to music, but there was no electricity.
Batteries.
So you see, Bob and Jackie, everybody's talking about what they were doing last night when the lights went out. But why did the lights go out?
Okay, so what is the tense of this conversation? Yes?
Past continuous. What were you doing last night?
Correct. It's past continuous. And what is your example again? What were you doing? What were you doing last night? Thank you. This is correct. Somebody else? Any other example? Yes, please.
You listening to music.
You're listening to music. You were listening to music. Yes, I was listening to music. Because you were listening to the music and the electricity went off yesterday. Yes, because of the invention of batteries. Thanks for the invention of batteries. Any examples? Yes? Where? Yes, please.
My children were doing their homework.
Were they? My children were doing their homework. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes? No? No? Okay, thank you very much. Diana, want to answer? Okay, thank you. Okay, past continuous. Past continuous form in affirmative is subject, was, or were, plus verb, plus ing. Was in case of singular subject and were in case of plural subject. For example, I was washing the dishes. In negative form, just add not to the was or were. For example, they weren't studying science. They weren't studying science. In a question form, you start by was or were in case of yes-no questions. For instance, were you listening to music? In WH question, start by using a question word. For instance, what were you doing last night when the lights went off? Use. The function of past continuous is to express a continuing situation in a certain time in the past. It is also used to express a continuing action in the past interrupted by a sudden event. For example, I was studying when the electricity went off. And went off here is the short action, and it is interrupted the action of studying. The past continuous is used in two actions occurring at the same time. We use signals like while and when. Okay, this is video number 6, and it is the last one. So let's begin.
Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to the downtown weekend party. Do you want to come along?
No, I already have some other plans.
All right. See you tomorrow then.
I won't be here tomorrow. I'm going to board tonight's flight to Queensland.
Are you going on a vacation?
Yep, I'm going along with some friends. You won't see me around for a few days.
All right. Have fun.
Okay, what is the tense of this conversation? What do you think? Yes, shumur? I think shumur, yes?
Future simple. I'm going to travel to France.
I'm going to travel to France. Okay, thank you. This is present continuous form, but the meaning is future. That's correct. Any example? Yes?
I'm going to study hard.
I'm going to study hard. This is an example. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to study hard. Thank you. Okay, future simple form. In affirmative, we use subject plus were plus bear verb. We use subject plus will plus bear verb. For example, okay, I will open the door. I will open the door. We have also a second form of the future simple. For example, subject plus be plus going to and the bear verb. She is going to visit her friend next week. She is going to visit her friend next week. In negative, we use not after will and not after the verb to be. For example, it will not rain. It will not rain. I'm not going to buy new shoes for the party. Any questions, you need to start by will or the verb to be in the case of yes-no questions. Will she have a breakfast with us? Yes, she will. No, she won't. Are you going to study in Germany? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Okay, future simple. There are two forms, as we said, next to the present form, the present simple form and the present continuous. We said we use will and be going to. Will is used for predictions, quick decisions, promises, and offers. But be going to is used for a prediction with evidence and for plans. For example, I'm going to study in Germany next semester. So this is a plan. We use be going to. Signals. We use probably, perhaps, promise, next week, tomorrow, and so on. Note, do not forget that the present simple form is used to express a future meaning when an event is a part of a fixed timetable. Also, do not forget that the present continuous form is used to express a future meaning in the case of social arrangements. Okay, we still have like 5 minutes. We can do a little exercise. I will distribute some worksheets and also the summary of the tenses which were on these slides are included too. Okay, fill in the spaces with the correct form of the verb. 1. They in Chicago for 20 years. Who would like to answer? Okay, yes, here, somebody. Yes?
They have been in Chicago for 20 years.
Good job. They have been in Chicago for 20 years. They have. Excellent. Number 2. Yes, please, Khulud. Khulud, yes.
I saw a wonderful film in the cinema last night.
Excellent. I saw a wonderful film in the cinema last night. So, excellent. Number 3. Yes, please.
Wood floats on water.
Wood floats on water. Excellent, because it is a fact. Yes. Okay, number 4. 4, yes. Okay, Mais.
The sun shines. The sun was it shined.
Shining, excellent. The sun was shining when the climber reached Mount Everest. Was shining. Okay, number 5, which is the last one for today. Yes, please.
I promise that I will not tell this secret to anyone.
Excellent. Promise, and here is the future simple form. I won't. Okay, I will keep the rest of this to do at home, and next time we are going to discuss your answers. Please also describe this photo in 8 sentences and try to use the correct form. See you next class and thank you very much. يعطيكم العافية.